And action.
Welcome to the Fit Society Better Together podcast, episode 2, motherfucking 1. Right out the gate. 21, dude.
22, dude. It was literally
22, dude.
How are you gonna MF-er the wrong number? Jesus criminy.
Dude, I'm just passionate about episode 21, I guess. Which is a little cameo into what we're talking about today, passion.
God.
Oh,
Dude,
man, dude.
By the way, if you just listened to episode 21, you realize that Corey is not on planet Earth today.
No. Yeah. It's rough, dude. It's a rough go, man. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Obviously a little scramble brain, but I'm here.
I'm well, Corey. Thank you for asking.
Paint fumes, brother.
Yeah, dude, I know. I'm painting my house, if you guys didn't know. Well, pieces of my house. We're going to move, and it's like you have a mounted TV, and then you decided to paint. You're like, yeah, I'm not painting. I'm going to paint as close as I can behind that 60-pound thing without pulling off the bracket and everything else. Nobody will ever see it until you move. Then those people are going to see it.
This episode's all about cutting corners and laziness, sponsored
by buddy. Let's go.
Corey, the quesadilla eating firefighter.
I was telling MJ that we started eating quesadillas at the station in the morning, just randomly.
Oh, nice.
Rocking a tortilla, some cheese, a little butter, and a cast iron pan, dude. It makes my morning great. That's fitness tip number 1 of this podcast. Eat a quesadilla every morning.
Extra butter, extra cheese.
Don't do that if you're listening. All right, here's our freaking topic today, okay? Can you guys focus? My God. Passion. We're talking about passion. How to find it. Is it hard to find? What should it look like? Where can you find it? All the goods about passion. We'll do it in our typical 3-2-1 format. 3 thoughts, 2 myths, 1 question to ask yourself and an action. All right? So why don't one of you fine gentlemen lead us off with a thought on passion instead of making fun of me?
Not it.
Okay. Well, I'll kick off then.
Do it, bro.
Passion, it's one of those things that you see a lot about, like you go on YouTube and or you listen to podcasts with people who are doing motivational speeches and stuff like that. And, they always, not always, but a lot of times it's about passion. Like, what is your passion? And you only should do that if you're passionate about it, or, if quit your job and go do your passion. Well, a lot of that is, that's awesome for some people. That works out really well for some people. A lot of people, it wouldn't, me being one of them. I'm very passionate about golf. I really don't think I could quit my job right now and go out and make a living playing golf.
Hold on, stop. If you think you don't know, I just want to second that you in fact cannot do that. Carry on. Go ahead. I've witnessed.
So I know I cannot make a living playing golf. So, that's one of those things that, though I'm not great at it, I still do it. I do it all the time. And I think about it. I read about it. I play video games on my phone about it. So it is a passion for me. And it's something that when I go and play, sure, I get frustrated like a lot of people out there playing golf, but it does bring a sense of, I guess, freedom to me, a sense of where I can forget about certain things in the outside world or the inside world, and I just kind of get out and not worry about stuff. So to me, that's a huge passion. And so I do it as much as I can. I work on it, and I try to be as engaged with it as I possibly can. But that's not for everyone. And if it was my job and it was my passion at the same time, man, that'd be really, really cool. But it's not, unfortunately. And I'll leave that to the, Bryson DeChambeau's of the world.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'll go a little on the lighter side because I think passion is obviously an intense thing, but I think kind of a rabbit trail or a precursor to passion is more so just fun in general, just having fun. And how I kind of related this in my head was like, if you were to go to a playground and watch like a toddler play. Like they're going to be so passionate about that little freaking truck they're playing with. And they're going to stand up and turn to the left and see like a pebble and be like, oh my God, this is the best freaking pebble that I've ever seen in my life. And then they're going to be passionate about that. And they're just going to be having fun the entire time. And I think as an adult, we start to grow into this phase where we're like, dude, if I'm going to be passionate about something, I have to be so invested. It's got to soak up all this time. I have to be so committed to it. And like, I think about all the little things that I'm passionate about. I'm not really good at any of them. Not as like you
I
said,
second that. I
gonna,
second that too.
yeah. Not that's going to take me to like a place of like money and fame or anything like that. But like, I just have fun. And I find that in my downtime, I'm like YouTubing videos about it, or like trying to learn a little more about it, or I just want to get out and go do it again. And I think a lot of people make passion to be this big, huge, like powerful thing, which it is. But the thing that you find passion in doesn't have to be this big, grandiose idea or like thing that you're committed to. It can be something super small, like cooking, and not even for a bunch of people, like cooking for your family. That's it. So that's my thought on it.
Yeah.
It's my hot take.
Yeah. So I was just looking up definitions on this thing because passion's one of those, but I think it's a buzzwordy type word. Means something different to everybody, I guess, depending on the context you're using it with. So this particular definition says it's a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement for something or about doing something. So enthusiasm or excitement for something or about doing something. That's kind of the set point for this conversation. So that being said, the question is, how do you find it? I think of it as like a two-part process. And I think you can look at this in any role. So for hobbies and fun, find passion in that. I think you can look at it for work and find it that way. But I think the first thing that you have to do, and I'm taking more, I guess, of an actionable approach.
You're just skipping the labor and just going right to the baby, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm going to answer the question of how do you find your passion, which I have a thought on it. So I think the thanks, guys.
Dude, don't get the ginger too hot, man.
I think you start with having the right perspective around it, and I guess maybe the career MJ's coming through me right now, because so many people over years and years and years have said, like, how do I find what I'm passionate about? Right. Like, and like, that's a question I've gotten a lot. And, you know, usually they followed up with like, I'm just not passionate about anything. I don't know. And so like, the first thing is like, you got to start with the right perspective. And if you're convinced that finding your passion is hard, or that it's not going to happen for you, you're going to remain closed off to any possibility of receiving what should come your way, right? You're going to block all of the little nudges and pulls and signals that should be guiding you to actually receive something you might be passionate about. So the first thing I think in that is open yourself to receive whatever it is you may be passionate about. It's okay if you don't have it now, but are you open to receive it? That's number one. Number two is you get out your freaking little passion detector and you put it all over your body like a metal detector. And you go, what do I like? What do I love? What brings me joy? What makes me smile? What makes me happy? What makes me laugh? Like those types of things, although they may not be solutions to the problem you're trying to solve, are things that you're passionate about, right? And so I think a lot of people, if they were just to start with those two things and trying to find what they like and or love based off the definition we outlined, that's my thought around passion. Additionally, whatever role you're trying to find passion in, I would say that if you don't have it, whatever you're going to go into, whether it's for fun or for career or whatever, it's not going to be sustainable and not going to last. I know that. That's something I think is something anybody can take home in this conversation. If you don't have passion behind what you're doing, it's just simply not going to be sustainable. So that's my 2 cents on passion, Corey.
Love it.
Questions?
Let's jump in. Huh?
Questions, 2 questions.
2 questions.
Just kidding. 2 myths.
2 myths. Yeah, nice.
2 myths in the question, Corey.
This pod, do you guys just want to shut this off and restart?
No.
Myths. Here we go. First myth. Once you find your passion, you have to stick to it. Can't change it. It's in blood now. Which I think is just silly. I think everybody goes through different phases of their life. I think as you grow older, you're going to find the things I'm passionate about when I was 7, I'm sure is not passionate about now. Some of them I am, but not all of them.
Yep.
But I just think that people get stuck into this, especially as adults, like I was saying earlier, that they get stuck into this, like, I'm deciding that I'm passionate about XYZ. And they're like, now I have to do that forever. And then they get to a point where, like, because they're committing so much time and energy and resource into it, they end up hating it. They're like, this sucks. Like, I'm not good at it. I don't like it. Like, I'm passionate about a slew of things. Cooking's probably one of them. I'm not a good cook. I mean, like, I'm decent, you know what I mean? But, like, just randomly, I'll throw something together and be like, dang, that was actually good for once. I'm passionate about rock climbing. I fall all the freaking time. I'd like all day long. You know what I mean? I don't know all the cool anchors and do anything crazy. I literally go like the same spot in Arizona every time, and I go climb the same route, and I fall in the same spot. I'm probably do that for the next 10 years, but I'm having a good freaking time doing it. Like, I think people just get stuck into this thing where they're like, I got to stick to this. I got to put time and energy into it, and I can't change my mind. Like, if you don't like it, bail.
Or Corey, if on the myth of once you find it, you have to stick to it. Let's say you show up on that Saturday morning to go the same rock, to climb the same route, and you're like, man, this doesn't bring me the joy that it used to. Fine, it's okay. Yeah. What does, right? What does? And you can sit there and be like, well, rock climbing was all I had. I don't even know what else I would do. Well, go back to opening yourself up, changing your perspective, and then getting your metal detector out, right? I think my take on the once you find it, you have to stick to it is, man, so many people just getting trapped by the here and the now. And it's like, especially with careers, I think, it's a lot of people try and cross-pollinate passion into career, and how much should I love my job versus like my job, and all these things. And my thing is again, if you're not passionate about your job, for example, and I'm gonna use fitness as an example too, but if you're not passionate about your job, you hate it, it's miserable, what's the cost of that job versus the value the dollar is providing? That sucks the fucking life out of you. But so many people get to a certain place and make a certain amount of money and get comfortable. And it's like, if you're not passionate about it and you don't enjoy it, what's the cost of that? Emotionally, strain on your relationship, strain at home, strain at work. Like, it just doesn't provide in the way it should provide. And in that spirit, I would say, guys, it's not too late. 20 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old. It's not too late to be reborn and find something that you're passionate about, something you can be the best at, and something you can monetize, and put all three of those three things together, and right in the middle is a hedgehog, and go do that. It's not too late. Same thing with fitness. Like, maybe you started off with a 5K goal, and then you did a half a marathon, and then a marathon. You're like, fuck, man, I just hate running now. Cool. Or you're like, I want this sportive fitness thing and this exercise racing with all these people doing these freaking Olympic lifts at high intensity and with these gymnastic movements. And I want to go learn that. And you get a year or two into that, and you're like, no thanks. I might want to go run or bike or swim. Great. Like, you can. And so I think we just get stuck in the here and the now and what it's supposed to be, and we're not taking inventory. So that's my thought on the old, you have to stick with it. You just don't.
And along the lines of both what you're saying is that it becomes kind of your identity, and that's right. That's where I think a lot of people stick and stay there because of that. That becomes their identity. Like, if it's music, if it's music, and I'm this long-haired dude that, I'm really into rock and roll, dude. This is my jam. And pretty soon that becomes my identity. Everybody recognizes me as the long-haired dude that likes music. And it's like, what if I'm starting to scoot away from that a little bit? And I'm getting into something else, that doesn't require me to feel comfortable with long hair and being there. A lot of people are afraid because that takes what they feel is their identity away. If they chop that hair off, everybody's like, whoa, what happened? Like something had to have happened to them, that made them do that. And possibly it's just because their passion changed, and they don't identify with that anymore. So they're going to go ahead and move along, So I think a lot of people get stuck because of that identity that sticks to them with that passion that they own.
And more importantly, and we've talked about this in the past, with that, not more importantly, but with that thought, it's like the fear of losing that identity. And like the fear of the change.
What I know.
The fear of what I know, the fear of the unknown. Such a good point, Cass, on why people would get with a passion and stay with it and not change it. And then the passion, when the passion becomes more problematic, or more of a like, dude, that you're now not going back to the definition. You're now not feeling enthusiasm or excitement for that something or doing that something. That's the red flag. You have to go, okay, why do I feel this way? Take inventory and then change accordingly. So I think we're all on the same page with that.
Definitely.
Second myth, Core?
Second myth, passion leads to success, or it needs to lead to some form of success. And I think I'll clarify that, because the success we're talking about when we've been talking is like happiness and brings you joy. This is the success that like, this is going to bring you monetary value or fame or credibility. You know what I mean? Something like that. People are like, okay, I got to pick something that I'm good at. So that way, when I'm passionate about it and I'm good at it, like I'm going to get recognized for it. It's going to improve my life by making me more money. Like I'm going to write a book. It doesn't have to be that. And I think the easiest point to go back to is what I've already been hammering, is like, I'm terrible at all the things I'm passionate about, but I still have so much fucking fun. And that's what matters, is enjoying it and finding something that lights you up on the inside where you're like, dude, it doesn't even matter that I suck. Like I'm still out here having a good freaking time.
Right. You could even go back. You could even go back to the first part. And like, if you're one of those people that go, I don't even know what I like to have fun doing. Right. Like that's a real life thing. People are like, I don't even know. The answer is this: it's okay to not know, but are you in that mindset of like, I'm going to go into my hole and not know, or go back to open myself up?
Right.
Try something, try anything, this, and then this, and then this, and then this, just try stuff. Right. And take refuge in that.
But I think in bringing it back to the myth is that's what they do, is they go like this, and they're like this because they're like, they go to look at something and they're like, I'm not going to be good at that. I'm not going to make money doing that. And they like look away. It's like, dude, who cares?
Yeah. It's funny. I got made fun of the other day because being up in Montana.
Who are they, dude? I'll beat their ass right now.
We will kick their asses.
Thanks, pals. But somebody looked in my truck and I had my mountain bike, I had my golf clubs, I had a skateboard, I got tennis rackets.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, somebody looked in the back seat and they're like, dude, what is this? And I'm like,
mobile pawn shop.
Right. I don't really have up here, I don't have anywhere to stash this stuff. And, I don't have the gym to put my gym bag, so it's in there as well. And it's like, and they're like, dude, pick one. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Right.
Do all these things. And I'm not very good at all of them, but I love them. I love going to do that. I went mountain biking this last weekend at this really cool mountain bike park. And I tell you what, dude, I felt like a 9-year-old again, when you have that freedom of getting on a bicycle and just riding and just not having a care in the world. It was awesome, but again, I'm not good. I watched the guys in front of me just clearing these 40-foot gaps. And I was just like, holy Toledo, I'll never be that good. But sure enough, I jumped 5 feet and felt amazing, So, so along the lines that you don't have to be great at all or make money off of them.
I think the last point I'll make here, because it almost sounds antithetical to this myth, when I said that in career space, this is really important to understand that in a career space, I said you have to be passionate in order to be successful, which would be antithetical to this question, right? What we're saying is that contextually, what I was saying, and I stole this from Jim Collins' Good to Great, it's called the hedgehog concept, that in order to be successful in business or career or the monetization, etc., you do need those three things. So stay with me for a second. You do need to find something you're passionate about so to be sustainable. You do need to find something you can be the best at, because we're in a free market, and free markets reward excellence. And you do have to be able to monetize it, because it has to be a profitable type situation. Put those three things together, you got a hedgehog. However, what we're talking about here is separate and apart from that, is you can still have passion without success. You can still be passionate about something, have a strong feeling of enthusiasm and excitement and for doing it, and not have it to be successful, i.e. Corey falling on his face when he goes bouldering all the time. Okay.
I am not a successful rock climber.
Just know that it has a time and a place. And I wanted to clear that up. But at the end of the day, man, what brings you joy is what brings you joy. And that's, we think, or the reason why we're bringing it up is we think everybody should have joy and live a life of passion in those areas. So the natural question,
Corey, as long as you have passion and success in parachuting, I think you're right. Definitely.
yeah. All right.
Agreed.
The question, we're going to get through this. What are you passionate about is the question. Any of you guys want to maybe make that actionable?
Yeah, I will real quick. And again, it's about I think what we've talked about from the beginning is that a lot of people like, and MJ, I'm going to use you as an example. When I first met you, you were just starting out Studio Fit, and man, you were living, breathing, eating everything fits our Studio Fit to get that thing off the ground and get going. Mm-hmm. And I remember meeting you, and I think we went and grabbed a beer or something like that, and we talked about, I think, college football, and you're like, I have no idea who's playing. I have no idea what's going on. And I was just like, okay, but this guy's not a college football fan, obviously, thinking about, pat myself on the back, like I know more, but it was because his head was so far in the game of building a business that he needed to be there. And then fast forward to, hey, ever been to a concert, MJ? Nope. I'm like, what? And, it's being, like you said, MJ, it's being open to seeing things and trying things differently. Mm-hmm. At the time, you had to be passionate about one thing because you were building something that you needed to grow. Once you're able to get that off the ground and though you're still super passionate about it, you still eat, leave, and breathe it, you did open your mind to different things. Mm-hmm. And you have other passions now. And that's one thing that I love about is that, there's times that you and I have been hanging out and, I'll come over to your house and you'll pick up your guitar and you're like, oh, listen to these 5 new songs I just learned. I'm like, when did you do that? And then other times you'll walk in and the guitar's got an inch of dust on it because you haven't touched it in so long. Again, you don't always have to be stuck with that passion. You can go do other things. And so, that's one thing that I look at is that, to find your passions doesn't mean you have to do one thing. You can do a million different things and go out there. And if right now you don't really have one, maybe it's just not the time to find one. Maybe you work really hard on something for X amount of time, but then you at least have open-mindedness to jump into one when it does present itself.
Yeah, I would say another easy way is just to ask yourself what you have fun doing. And if you're like, I don't know what I have fun doing, just ask your friends what they have fun doing and then go join them. Be like, hey, what do you do for fun? And then if you ask me, I'm going to tell you a bunch of stupid shit. You'll probably get hurt, but it'll be a good time.
Yeah. I think that's how we wrap it up. Like it goes back, like a body in motion stays in motion. Passions change, people change, focuses change, and that's okay. I think what needs to change if somebody's stuck and not feeling passionate about anything is getting the body in motion. So hopefully from this, you've realized that, hey man, passion matters and it's important. And then secondly, you've maybe taken some takeaways on how to maybe find that or those passions and what to do with them. So anyways, guys, 22 episodes deep, 22. We're flying.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on episode 23. Corey, do it with us. And cut.
Boom. Nailed it.
See you guys.